Welcome, my beautiful Do Life in a Body You Love chicks. Today, I want to rant with you a little bit about why you need to prioritize yourself and how the two biggest things that hold women back from doing so are total and utter BS. And so please know going into this one that I am saying all of this in love. But y'all are going to get nickied today. So how do I explain getting nickied? I don't know. This is what my friends say. I have two friends who will call me and be like, okay, I need to get nickied. And it basically is when they know that they're making excuses for not doing the thing that they know that they should do. And we talk it out. And I kind of call BS on some of their thoughts that they already know aren't true. We're going to do that. Okay. And here's why. Because it is imperative that as women, especially the older that we get, I don't care if you're 35, 45, 55, 65, you start taking care of your body right now, young lady, because it's a must. It's a must. It's a must. It's a must. And the two reasons that women tell me that they're not doing so are time and money. And so I'm going to share with you how it really doesn't need to take that much time or money. But even if it did, even if it took you an exorbitant amount of time and money to take better care of your body, which it does not, but even if it did, it still needs to be a top priority. Or else, sorry, camera got a little shaky there. Or else it's going to end up costing you an insane amount of time and money down the road. But so here's what happens. And by the way, before I even get all preachy about this, please understand that I do not treat my body perfectly either. And I came from a place maybe 8 or 9 years ago, I'm bad at time, of treating my body like total trash. And it was because I was like so insanely busy, right? So I get it if you are in this really busy season of life or your finances are super tight and you're paycheck to paycheck. Please understand that I've been in both of those scenarios and I fully appreciate that. But I'm still going to call BS on us using those as an excuse to not take care of our body. Here's why. You have one body to do life in, okay? One body. And it's easy for us to abuse that body and kick the can down the road because our body will keep doing what it does under years and years and years of abuse. We may not like the way we look. Maybe we have some headaches and some aches and pains. Maybe we have some gastric upset. But by and large, there are issues that we can ignore until we get further enough down the road where our body does have like a big alarm system that goes off. Like we have a heart attack or a stroke or something where our body is like, okay, I'm done with you. And this is what's happening. But we can kick that can way down the road. And we have these priorities in our life that need to be dealt with right this second, like a sick child or deadlines at work, or we have all of these things. And so that makes it really easy to keep kicking the can down the road on our health. Now, hear me, skinny people of the world, that you may be a lean weight and treat your body like trash, and you have this false security of being healthy because you're lean. So I'm married to a person like that. I am not personally that person. I have to work very hard to stay even reasonably lean. But my husband can eat literally whatever he wants. And I'm like, don't think that you're not rotting from the inside just because you're all tall and skinny and you look like an athlete, even though you don't do anything. Okay. So your weight is not always a determinant of your health. Just going to throw that out there as a sidebar. But here's the deal. If you are waiting to take better care of your health for this season of life where you have more time, that's not a thing. First of all, when your kids are young, you think that when they start sleeping through the night, you're going to have more energy and time to do things. And while it is true that you will have a little bit more energy when they start sleeping through the night, but then they're like crawling around and doing things. And then they become teenagers who need you to run them everywhere. You turn into mom taxi cab, and then they graduate, but then your parents are aging and need you. And like, the time in which a woman is not, people are not demanding of her time, it's not a time or a place. It doesn't happen. I have a client who just celebrated her 70th birthday and she's still extremely busy, even though she's retired. And we're working on time management skills because It never ends, ladies. So there is not this magical time frame where you're going to just have unlimited time capacity to commit to your health. That's not happening. So you have to do it now. And there's also not this time period where there won't be something else that you want to spend your money on. So yes, if you're paycheck to paycheck and you're just trying to figure out how you're going to put food on the table, you probably don't have the money to go allocate to the gym. You know what I mean? But it's also true that when you're not living paycheck to paycheck and you do actually have money for a gym membership, there's still going to be something more pressing that pops up. Your kid is going to need a new dance uniform. The car needs an oil change. Well, we haven't been on a family vacation in a really long time. Like, there's always going to be something that if you're not prioritizing your health and recognizing how valuable it is, your health and your body are never going to get the time and the financial resources that you could actually be allocating to it. And it has nothing to do with you not having time or money. It has everything to do with you not prioritizing that your body is worth putting those resources into. And so if we're not valuing that, I want to give some perspective on that. This is where I'm going to get a little bit harsh. Let's start with money. You're going to pay for your health or you're going to pay for your illness. You will pay. Everybody pays. Take it from an ICU/ER nurse. Everybody pays for health or illness. Which one do you want to pay for? And I'm telling you right now that health is way cheaper. I didn't do the billing, but like, especially as a nurse, I never really saw the cost of things. I saw the social cost of things. Okay, so my patients are in the ICU for a week. They're not at work. I can do the math and I can go, oh, that's costing this person this much. So if maybe you have covered sick days. So you're like, it's fine. Well, guess what? That PTO in your bank would still be money that you could cash out if you didn't have to waste it on a sick day. So do the math. What do you make? What's your hourly rate if you're not salaried? And every time that you have to call in, it costs you that much money. If you make $20 an hour, an 8-hour shift is what, 160? I'm not great at math. Fact check me on that. But okay, what's a sick day cost you? Okay, what's a sick week going to cost you? More importantly than the finances, which we'll dive into the finances of illness here in a second, what's it costing you in terms of your happiness and your fulfillment in life? I'm going to give you specific examples of things that have been told to me. So I didn't get to the point where I wouldn't go anywhere because I didn't like the way I looked. But I'll tell you that for me personally, what it did is it made it not as fun. So I would get really excited to go out on rare occasion because I was a busy working mom. It didn't happen all that often. And so when it would, I'm like so excited. I'm like in the shower and I'm like planning how amazing my night's going to be. And then I go to my closet and I go to get dressed and I hate the way everything looks. Immediate buzzkill, right? My mood is just shot. Now I'm going because I said I would, not because I want to. I want to call and say I'm not coming. I'm thinking of excuses that I could make in my brain about why it's better for me to not go. Oh, well, I really have this to do in the morning. I really should save the money. Well, I could just tell them this, but I'm very big on not lying. So if I'm not going to go somewhere, I'm going to tell people honestly why I'm not going. And so then what? I'm going to say, I feel chubby, so I'm not coming out tonight. That's almost as embarrassing as just showing up in a shirt that I don't like. So I would go and I would end up having a good time, but I would still be thinking all the time about like, okay, so I have to stand at this angle, or if I go sit down, I got to make sure that I pull my pants up over my belly, or like, I'm always thinking about how I look instead of the conversation that I should be engaged in the moment. So am I there and having fun? Sure. Is it the most fun and freeing that it could be? Absolutely not. There's a big difference between walking in the room and feeling good about yourself and walking in and feeling like you're constantly tweaking your wardrobe. Like, it's stupid. But I've had women who tell me they don't have the energy to play with their kids after work. And then they feel bad that they're not playing with their kids or that they're crabby with their kids. Or I have women who are like, well, my husband and my kids like to go like hiking, and they go to the park and they do these things, and I just don't really have the endurance to do it. And then they feel guilty that they're missing out on those things. or they want to go to the park with their kids and their husband, but it's hot outside, and then they would have to put on shorts. Plus they're kind of tired too. And so they're like, well, I'm just gonna stay home, and there's laundry that has to get done, and I'm gonna prep dinner. So we justify the other things that we're gonna do, but really the reason we're not going is because of the way that our body either looks or feels, or both. And then now we also have mom guilt that we're missing out on things. So not feeling your best, whether you're actually ill or not, is it stopping you from living your life fully? From not booking a vacation because you don't like how your body's going to look, from not going and doing things. Okay, then fast forward to actual illness that sidelines you against your choice. So maybe none of those things bother you, and your lack of health isn't really affecting what you're doing right now. But if you get an actual illness, it will. You won't have a choice. You are sidelined by your body. If you're in the hospital for a week, you're not going to your grandkid's wedding. Like, these are real life scenarios that I watch play out over and over and over again. And it's very easy to pretend like those things aren't coming for us, or to just not think about it. I don't even think that we intentionally just ignore that it's a possibility. I think that we're just so caught up in our daily grind that we don't consider those things. When we start to get older and realize how fast time goes, we do allow ourselves these thoughts a little bit more, I think. So even though I'm only 40, I'm going to be 41 this month, I can look and go, 30 to 40 went really fast. And I know that that's because of the changes that happen in your brain. This is actually why time appears to speed up, is because there's parts of your brain in your processing centers that slow down with age. So just you having thoughts takes longer, which makes time feel faster. So time literally speeds up for you as you age. So if 30 to 40 went really fast, then I know 40 to 50 is going to go even faster, and 50 to 60 is going to go even faster yet. And so before I know it, I am going to be that age where right now I'm not giving it any thought. And so knowing that, then I can be like, I want to set myself up. I want to set myself up good for those age groups so that I can be the fun grandma. I can be the one who's rolling around on the floor and can hop right back up. Like, I want to go on bike rides. I want to do all of the things. I can think about those things, but I've had the blessing and the curse of watching people in these phases of life who can't do those things. As a nurse, I've got to see it firsthand. Well, everybody doesn't have that experience. And so it's easy for you guys to kick the can down the road. So that I'm not bringing this information to you, or these thoughts, to be a Debbie Downer, like, the end is coming for you. I don't want it to be like that. But ignorance is not bliss, because it doesn't set us up for success. And I want you all to age gracefully. I want you, in the moment that you're in, to fully enjoy it, and your health, energy, mood, all of that, to not be inhibiting you from doing life in a body you love. Do life is capitalized on this podcast, because it's not really all about your body. It's about the quality of your life, which is greatly affected by your body. I want you all fully present, engaged, living your best life, living your purpose, enjoying the moments today. And I also want you setting yourself up for longevity in the future, because if you're listening to me and you're 30, 60's coming quick. If you're 60 and you're listening to me, you already know it came quick, right? So it's always imperative that we start now with good habits, with laying out the foundational things that we need to age well. Plus, we're setting that example for our household. Maybe your husband's not going to hop right on board with some clean eating plan or whatever, but when your spouse and your kids see how much better you feel, look, all of these things, and that you're doing it in a way where it's not some crazy diet, you actually are eating food that you like, they're eating the same food and they like it, it becomes like this normalized thing. Like, oh, being healthy doesn't have to be torture. It doesn't have to be overly time consuming. It doesn't have to be overly expensive. People tell me all the time how expensive healthy food is. Okay, I do understand that, like, you can get ramen noodles for $1 a package. Okay, that's true. I don't have anything healthy that competes with that other than you having a garden. But people tell me that, but they're ordering takeout all the time. So they're going to McDonald's, which I don't know. Last time we took our whole family to McDonald's, it still cost us $50 because we eat a lot of food. So it didn't feel super cheap. I could have made us steaks at home, steaks, veggies, and a potato, which would be super healthy, right? Yes, that's my version of healthy, by the way. If you guys think I put people on a diet food program in the Keep It Off Academy, I don't. We eat steak and potatoes. But we could have all ate steak at home for the same price that we ate McDonald's. Really. Like, it's crazy, right? It's just our frame of reference for what is healthy and what isn't. So I can say healthy food is too expensive. All food is expensive right now, but like a bag of Doritos and a bag of apples cost the same amount. And the apples are going to last longer. The Doritos just taste better and it's what I want in the moment, right? So it's not necessarily true that you have to spend more money on your groceries. In fact, a lot of people who come into the Keep It Off Academy end up saving money on food because they learn how to prep food at home. That's really, really fast. And that saves them money on takeout, no matter how cheap the takeout is that you're getting, right? It's always cheaper to cook at home. So there are things that you can do to save on time and to save on money. But let's say you want to go all out, like financially, you want to have a personalized coach, like in the Keep It Off Academy, and you want a personal trainer at the gym, and you want to go to the spa, and you just want to do like all these things. You want to go on some like yoga meditation retreat in the woods for 10 grand for the week. I don't know. I'm making things up, but that sounds cool. That's still less than what you probably spend just to drive your car. And I made a post about this, and I'm sure people were probably like, oh my gosh, what is she on about? But this was the point of that post. So your car is important because it gets you to work, and it takes you around town, and it takes you to your kids' sporting events, and it picked you and your baby up from the hospital when you had your newborn baby. And like, yes, vehicles take us all of these amazing places. And most people spend anywhere from 10 to 40K on the vehicle itself. So, $200 to $500 a month for a payment, let's say. Of course, there are outliers to that, but it's somewhere in that ballpark. And then you have to put gas in it every month, which is way more than probably your grocery bill. For a person of one, not for a family. But then you also have to get an oil change. You have to do all of these things. And we do that because we recognize the value in being able to do life. We need a car, unless you're like in a walkable city, right? Okay, well, to do life, you need your body more than you need a car. The problem is that if you don't do the maintenance for it, you're not giving it the right fuel, it'll still run. If you go throw diesel in your car, it's not going to run. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not good at mechanics, but I feel like it's going to be bad news bears, and the car's probably not going to run. Okay. But you can put the wrong fuel in your body for years and it'll still run. It's just not running very efficiently. Like, you don't know how good you're supposed to feel until you treat your body well and you feel it. And then you're like, oh, that like slight headache that I've had for like 10 years that I didn't even really notice but now that it's gone, I notice that it's gone. Like, all these weird things start to resolve. So yeah, your body's going to run more efficiently with the right fuel, but you can get away with not doing it right. Your car has to have an oil change every so often, or bad things are going to happen. Your body, you can kind of ignore it for a while, right? So yes, is your body going to perform better if you exercise and move more? Yeah. And if you don't, eventually it's going to catch up with you, but it's not going to catch up with you for decades, maybe. Where if you ignore your car for just like a week, you don't fill the gas tank, it's not going to go anywhere. So there's more of an obvious effect, but I would say the body is the more important one. We spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars every year on our vehicles to just drive us around town. But we have this body that we cannot trade in for a new one. There's no upgrade. There's no trade in. You don't get a lease. This is the body God gave you. You better take care of it, right? But we won't spend like $50 a month to go to the gym because we don't have the money for it, but we're spending how much on our vehicles? Like, let's say you want to go to like a fancy gym. That's like $150 a month. That is pricey. I agree. And not everybody has that. I also understand that. Or like coaching, like everybody can't afford a few $100 a month for coaching, right? But some people can. They're pulling up in their SUV to the airport to go on a trip halfway around the world and then saying that they can't afford things for their own body. That's not true. The money's being allocated elsewhere. You don't want to spend it on yourself. That's what the reality is, right? Let's just call it what it is. We'll find the money for the things that we value. When I was on food stamps in my 20s as a young single mom who really didn't have any money, and if you would have told me that I needed to go to the gym, I just wouldn't have done it because I was not healthy. Also, I would have told you I didn't have money for that. But you better believe I found ways to buy those packs of cigarettes every week because I was a smoker then, couldn't afford it, found the money. So here's the deal. You'll find the money to pay for the things that you value. So then you have to go, if I'm not putting money or time into my health, is it because I don't value it? Is it because I'm just not thinking about it? Or is it because I don't believe that I'm worth this or that I'm capable of this? There's a belief issue there. It's either that you don't believe you're capable of making the change. So, well, I would buy a gym membership, but I've done that 3 times and I didn't go. So you don't trust yourself to follow through with it, right? Is that the real issue? Or is it just that, no, my kids need this and my husband needs that. And, the family needs this. What the family needs is a really healthy mom. That's what the family needs. I'm going to just call that out. This is tough love talk today. If you run your body into the ground to take care of everybody else because you don't want to allocate time to doing meal prep for 30 minutes, like your meal prep doesn't need to be crazy, you guys. I don't spend hours in the kitchen. Listen, I'm a health coach and my whole full-time job now is health coaching, and I work from my house. And I am super, super busy actually. And I have to make myself move around now that I have quote unquote a desk job. But could I be in the kitchen cooking more? Yes, I still don't. All of my meals are made at home, but we go out and we have fun, but most of our meals are made at home. I'm still not spending like hours and hours in the kitchen doing crazy meal prep because I feel like that's a waste of my time and I don't want to do it. You can streamline things, okay? You can make things doable for your schedule. So saying I don't have the time is just making an excuse and letting yourself off the hook. You can go to the store and you can buy budget-friendly food that you make in your house. So saying you don't have the money is an excuse. It's letting yourself off the hook. It's like we know we should be prioritizing our health, but we don't want to stop and do it. We don't want to quit snacking. We don't want to allocate money to that when we would rather allocate money to going out with our girlfriends, like whatever the thing is. And so we say these things to let ourselves off the hook. So where do I even want to go with this? And my brain's all over the place with this because there's so much. It's such a heavy topic. Here's the deal. Do you guys look up the cost of illnesses? Look up the cost of an ICU stay after you have a heart attack. If the financial piece of it doesn't freak you out and you don't realize that, like, oh my gosh, being sick is so much more expensive than being healthy. So you can pay to maintain your health right now, or you can pay for the illness later. That doesn't do it for you. Think about how, okay, you want to run around and do everything for everybody else right now. You will be the person everybody else has to take care of if you don't take care of yourself right now. This is what happens. You run yourself ragged, raising your own children, then maybe even helping raise up a young grandchildren generation. And because you've got to do all the things for all the people, then you become incapacitated. And those people that you love so much that you want to be helping end up taking care of you. So it is better for them for you to take care of yourself now, considering that it's really, if you put things into perspective, not that much time or money to do so. There are other reasons why women don't do it. It's predominantly time and money. Those are the big things that I hear. Part of it's overwhelm and not knowing where to start and not knowing how to change habits and blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, the 2 things I hear the most are, I don't have time, I'm super busy, and I don't have the money, blah, blah, blah. If you look at it like this, the best thing for your family, is it mom who has no energy or energized mom? Is it mom who's crabby because she doesn't like the way she looks and she doesn't like the way she feels? Or is it mom who is happy and joyful because her body feels physically good. She's proud of who she is and how she's taking care of herself. And that rolls over into everything else. So that's the right now. That's the how it's going to impact things right now in this moment. You take the extra 30 minutes to do a little bit of meal prep and you have more energy and time for your kids and your family. Okay, now fast forward, your kids have kids and you want to be an active, involved grandma instead of the grandma that they have to come over and take care of. Like, you're going to commit the time now or they're going to be taking care of you. So I could go on and on about this, but I'm going to wrap things up and just say that all of this, like I said, ladies, is not meant to be Debbie Downer. But I think that having our head in the sand like an ostrich and pretending like none of these things are real isn't always helpful. So as much as I love you all, and I always want you to leave my space feeling light and healthy and energized and hopeful and worthy. That's the vibe I always want you guys to get whenever we're interacting in some capacity. But I think there are times where we need a little bit of like, okay, this is the reality. And I need that too. Sometimes I have to have people who check me. Like, I can get very hyper-focused on like delivering for my clients. Like, and my husband will be like, okay, so that's cool. I'm glad that you're so involved with your clients, but how about you get up and move your butt and take a shower today? And I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. So just know that I have people in my corner who keep me in check, and we all need that, right? Sometimes we all need a little bit of a reality check. So if you're not taking care of you, here's your homework assignment, should you choose to accept it. If you're not taking care of you in the capacity that you know you're capable of or should be or whatever it is, ponder why. Maybe journal this out and go, okay, what is the thing I'm telling myself? Am I telling myself that I just don't have the time? Am I telling myself that, once summer gets here and the kids are out of school, then I'm going to do it? Then you won't, because you'll have summer things going on. And then you'll say in the fall, whatever, we kick the can down the road. But what are you doing? What is the thing that you're doing as a stall tactic to not take care of yourself? And then question yourself and go, is this statement even true? Is it true that I don't have the time? What's getting my time instead? And is that thing really more important than my health? If you're saying you don't have the financial resources to, is that true? And even if it is, what can you do that's free? Can you go outside and go on a walk today? Because that's free. Like, what are the things that you could do for yourself? Do you value it enough? If you're going to stick to, I truly don't have time, I don't have time for that. What I challenge my clients on, if they tell me they don't have time to do something, I'm like, we all have the same 24 hours in a day. So different things get different priorities in different seasons of life. Totally get it. If you ever say, I don't have time for something, what you're saying is it's not a priority. Oof. Sometimes that hurts. Sometimes it's fine. Here's a reality. My yard could look way better than it does, you guys. Like, everybody, you guys have probably heard me tell the story. Everybody on my street is a bunch of retired school teachers, and they have like the best yards. Like, it looks like Better Home and Gardens on my road. And then like, I just have like this normal yard. Like, it's not like super Beverly Hillbillies. Like, there's not like cars and junk all over in the yard, but like my flower beds are overgrown. I don't even know if they make flowers anymore. A couple of flowers pop up, but like there's nothing cute happening. And I'll pull in my driveway sometimes and be like, I really need to get my act together and get this yard looking like the rest of the block. And maybe that should be a priority, but it's not, because I have kids that I'm still, even though they're adults, I'm still helping them. I'm in like the life coaching phase of parenting. I have a household that I'm running. I have a husband. I have my own health. I have a business, and something has to come off my plate for me to go outside and take care of that yard. So I don't do it. The grass gets cut. It is what it is. Maybe someday I can afford a gardener, but that day is not today. And so other things are getting my resources. So my yard is not a priority for me. True story. Maybe it should be. It's not. If your health is not a priority for you, if you're saying, I don't have time to work out, or I don't have time to meal prep, or, whatever the thing is that you think you should be doing, what you're really saying is it's not a priority. That's what you're saying. Now, sometimes that might be true and it might be fine and there might be nothing you can do about it. Sometimes we have a loved one who is like chronically ill that we're taking care of. And this is what I have to be doing right now. Or maybe you have a job where you are literally gone from your house for 16 hours a day. I would say there is still some meal things that we could work on, but maybe exercise is off the table. Or we find a way for you to like run the stairs while you're at work or something. Like sometimes we have to get creative, but there's usually something that we can do once we place that as a priority. So what's getting your time and your money? Whatever is getting your time and your money is the biggest priority in your life. And if you aren't on that list, lady, you need to put yourself on that list. It is imperative that you do not kick the can down the road. It does not get easier with age. Okay. Habits can be changed at any age. You can become healthier at any age. But the earlier that you take care of this, I didn't start until I was like mid-30s, I think. And I even wish I cared about this when I was 15. I did not care. I was 100 pounds, so I was eating McDonald's every single day and smoking my Marlboro Reds, and I didn't care. Okay. I was such a gross teenager. But I wish that I cared earlier when it was easier for me to put on muscle. It's harder for me now. It's going to be harder for me once I get through menopause. It's going to be even harder yet. That doesn't mean I'm going to stop doing it though, right? But so my point is, the earlier you take care of this, the better it is going to be. You are worth being on your priority list and getting your time and your resources. It is not selfish for you to take care of yourself. You can serve others better when you feel your best, when you're cognitively on point, when you physically have the energy, when you feel better about yourself. And so you're more confident to put yourself out there and go into different situations. And you don't have to think about like, well, it's too hot outside and I'd have to put on shorts, and so I'm not going to go. Like when you don't have to think about those things, you're more engaged with your life and the important people in it. You don't have to put your life on hold. You don't have to put everybody else to the back burner to take care of yourself. You just have to allocate a little tiny bit of your time and resources and attention and focus on you. And then it's going to have this ripple effect in your household, in your social circle. Like you can be the one who breaks these generational chains of not taking care of yourself, not taking care of your body. Like I didn't grow up in a household where health was a priority. It just wasn't. And unfortunately I started in the game a little bit late, and, you know, my kids kind of like, one of them kind of cares about health. One totally doesn't at all, but they've had it modeled for them and they know what to do. And so you can be the one who, by just showing up for yourself, not badgering everybody, but just showing up for yourself, you're giving that example to your spouse and your kids and your friends of what it can look like and that it's possible and how good it feels. So be that example for them, but also be doing it for you, because you are of value. You are worthy. You have things you were put on this planet to do, and you're going to do them all better if you feel better. So that's the end of my rant. And I hope that this was all received from like a loving spirit, because I know that that was a little bit like, rah. I don't want it to be negative. I just wanted to go, okay, reality check. Let's all start taking better care of ourselves. So I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Stay plugged in to the Simplified Fat Loss group, and I will see you chicks next week.